I must commend His Royal Majesty as well for creating this critical platform through the power of media storytelling. You could listen to her yesterday. It was very strong. Storytelling. Elevate Africa. He's helping to foster a dignified, empowered, and a collaborative Africa. This convening offers a unique opportunity for multi-level knowledge exchange, strategic partnership, and promotion of indigenous solutions, which are key to our social economic advancement. Today, Africa stands on the cusp of a transformation, one led by the ingenuity and the resilience of its people. Africa, we see, is not a continent defined by its challenges, but by the boundless opportunity. And I think these points were made by several speakers yesterday, given the tone of the conversation, that indeed not in the challenges that we see in Africa, but it is in the level of opportunities that are abound. It is the level of a youth population that are not just innovative, that are creative, they are ready to take on the world. It is an Africa where we take control of our narratives. And I think those are some of the points that even the conversation yesterday, alluded to. Where our stories of innovation, our stories of culture, which clearly was demonstrated here this morning, which I'm truly, really proud of to be an African, a political leader, and that culture, it's being demonstrated even in this small, important audience here. And that's who we are, and that's who we continue to tell the world that we are. We should never shy from that. And of course, the progress that are shared globally. It is an Africa that thrives on collaboration, an Africa not only within the continent, but also as global partners. It's important and it's critical that Africa needs to take its place, its rightful place in global conversations. I stand here as the governor of your state, of course, your state, and several others. The security apparatus, everything were from Lagos. But I stand here as the governor of the largest black city-state in Africa. I stand here as the leader of the largest population of any conglomerate of citizens in the world, Lagos State. A state that has uniquely, a state that has uniquely defined itself amongst its peers to stand out as a center of excellence, as a place where Africa's truest, brightest, most creative all come together, as a state that helps us truly define what the Nigerian in all of us is, because it's the chromosomes of our country, and it's also the melting point of Africa. I stand here representing over 22 million Lagosians to say to you that we're indeed happy with Elevate Africa, we're happy with the vision and the learning and the outcomes that will be coming out of this conversation. But more importantly, Lagos, that is the beacon of innovation, that is the centerpiece of development in Africa. I'm confident to say that the vision, the Africa we see, is not just a dream. It's indeed a reality and is already in motion. So my advice is that all of us must find a space in that mobility so that we're not left behind. Lagos is a proof of that. It's a proof of what is possible, what we can achieve working together collaboratively, what we can achieve understanding what skills, what competencies are bound in each and every one of us. And indeed, a place where we commit to building a future where Africa can truly flourish. As leaders, it is our responsibility to ensure that the vision of this empowered Africa becomes a reality. I'm honored to stand along very many distinguished speakers, as we've seen yesterday, and the ones that will also come out, today, the likes of Fela, and all of the inspiring words that will be coming out, from the engagements here today. And I think the point to really, really also take away is my own note that Akin has clearly, stated out for us. If yesterday alone, we were able to clearly craft and see that we need to unite a one Africa, that is long overdue. And that is one conversation that needs to come out from the engagement today. We need to be able to strengthen the collaboration between the private sector and the public sector, like he had said. in which we that are in the public sector, some of us have also lived our life in the private sector, but we need to realize that, it's only when we share those responsibilities that we can truly have, an Africa that could be challenged, in terms of the resources that it has and be able to apply, those resources. Let's realize who has the best fit to put our best forward. Is it the private sector? Is it the public sector? And all of us understanding that we're the same coin, we're just two different sides, of the coin. To define an Africa in global space, I think that is more than important. We are not asking for arms. We're not begging for anything. We're just saying that we want true partnership. We want to have a space in the room. We want to have a seat, on every table, and want our stories. We want our narratives, to be heard and to be lifted up. We want an Africa where we want to invest in our youth, in our women. We want to engage our diaspora, strong diaspora population that are changing the narrative globally. Nigerians are everywhere in the world, helping to recreate, to innovate. And so we need to be able to close up on all of that and bring them, into the African story. Regional integration, we keep talking about it. We need to look ourselves in the face as Africans and say to ourselves that not only when we begin to trade amongst ourselves, trade within ourselves, that the other world will not see us freely. So we need to understand and appreciate that everything we have in Nigeria must be able to see it in Cape Town, must be able to see it in Joburg, and have a space in Nairobi. That's the Africa that I believe we're all talking about. That's the Africa that Elevate Africa is talking about. Accountability as one of the last things. I stand here as a public sector person, wants to be held accountable in everything that I do, the decisions that I make, the outcomes of the investment that I make for my people. And that is what I think is most, lacking. And not until when leaders truly, really stand accountable, knowing fully well that you've been given a secret opportunity to lead your people at a certain time. And after that, you should certainly be able to stand up and tell them what you've done, either with their resources, with their time, with their knowledge, and so that they can see that indeed Africa is moving. I want to leave here, because my time is up, to say that Lagos State is proud to be part of this, to also say to the Queen Consort that your next edition certainly should come to the state of excellence. It should come to the state of aquatic splendor. And to say that leading and, and shaping, what leadership in Africa is all about. It's about one of the things that we have also started, a fellowship program which we call the Lateef Jakone Leadership Academy. We just graduated the first set of fellows. We've started the second, in which we need to deliberately, be able to set, an agenda for the new set of leaders that will emerge, And finally, to say that, for us as a government, every fiber of strength that we have, it is to serve our people. It's to be able to create opportunity for the youth, for the women, for the challenge in our environment, to be able to take them up, to be able to give them a space, to give them a voice, to give them an opportunity to excel. Because we know that in almost every African, there's an innovative mind, there's a creative mind, in culture, in arts, in all space of life, And that's what I believe Elevate Africa, it's all about. Once again, I want to thank and commend Her Royal Majesty and the supportive and the entire audience that is here. Let us not just make it a talk shop. The outcomes of this deliberation, I want to see, the final print of it. I've taken my note, and let us take it to the next level. Thank you very much, and it's been an honor to be here this morning.